Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum to all of you. I welcome you all again in my class. Students, as you know that we in the last lecture we have started a chapter from biology, that is viruses, bacteria and cyanobacteria. And today we are going to start another new chapter that is from chemistry and with the chapter name atomic structure. But before starting this, I want to discuss few things with you all. But I just want to tell you this is a chapter from chemistry section and overall this is your lecture number 10 and I am your science teacher, Ms. Palaknas. Okay. But before starting the lecture, I want to discuss or tell you one thing regarding your class participation. As all of you know that we are going to provide grades on your class participation, that how will you participate and how much actively you will participate during the online classes, especially during the question answer session. Okay, depending on your participation, your answering, we are going to provide you grades, and that grades will also include in your final term exams result, final term result especially. Okay, so it is must to participate during the question answer session or as well as throughout the online classes. Okay, let me clear one thing, that I'm not going to ask that you must write a correct answer. Okay, it is not necessary yet that your answer should be correct. Okay, because this is not your test, this is your class participation. Okay, you must participate whether your answer is right, wrong, whatever you are giving the answer, but please make sure your participation. Okay, you must participate during the classes. That's why, and then on your participation basis we are going to give you grades. Okay, so let's start from chapter number 3. This is basically chapter number 3 from chemistry book on page number 42 with the name atomic structure. As the name indicate, what you are going to study in this chapter, obviously the structure of atom. Okay, as you can see here, this is the picture of an atom. Okay, what is atom? These are the shells, these are electrons, this is nucleus. So you are going to study all this thing, how atoms look like. Now start from the lectures content, that what we are going to cover today from this chapter. What are the topics that we are going to cover today? The first topic that we are going to study is Dalton's atomic theory. Okay, Dalton's atomic theory. Second one is modern atomic theory. And the last one is fundamental particles of an atom. Fundamental particles of an atom. Okay, so let's start from the topic number 1, that is Dalton's atomic theory. But before that, I'm going to introduce this thing. What I'm going to introduce you, the term atom. Okay, now what is atom or what does an atom mean? In the 5th century, okay, so I am talking about the 5th century, Greek philosopher Democritus expressed the belief that all matter consists of very small, indivisible particles. Okay, who to express this thing? The Greek philosopher Democritus. What he expressed, that all matter. Matter means what? Anything that occupies space and has mass. So he expressed that the all matter that is found on Earth, it is consists of very small, indivisible particles. Indivisible means that particle that cannot be further divided. Means you cannot break it down further. आप उसको मजीद तोड़ नहीं सकते. That means indivisible. Okay, so what he believed that all the matter consists of very small indivisible particles, and he named them atomos. Okay, he named them atomos. Since Democritus is a Greek philosopher, so this atomos comes from a Greek word atomos, that means not cuttable, means you cannot further cut it. Indivisible, you cannot further divide it. Okay, so nowadays it is called as atoms. Okay, so what does atoms mean? The particles that cannot be further divided means indivisible, or you cannot be further cuttable means they cannot be further broken down into smaller pieces. Okay, so what are atoms? Atoms are tiny particles, indivisible particles that make up your matter. Just like the cell, if we talk about the living organism, you know the basic unit of life is cell. Similarly, the basic unit of matter is atoms. Okay, now who is he? Let's check it out. In 1808, John Dalton, an English school teacher and chemist. Okay, he was an English school teacher as well as chemist. Who is he? He is John Dalton. He suggested the fundamental ideas of atomic theory. Okay, which explains the chemical nature of matter. Okay, what he did, he explains or he suggested the fundamental ideas of atomic theory, which explains the chemical nature of matter and the existence of atoms. And it is known as Dalton's atomic theory. Okay, what is Dalton's atomic theory? Now look at here. Here you have three terms. Theory. You know what is theory? It is the explanation of the observation. You remember observation, hypothesis, and theory. You will observe something, then you will perform so many experiments over it, and then you will propose that theory. So basically, this is a theory of atoms. Okay, the theory about atoms that was presented by an English school teacher or chemist known as Dalton, or you can say John Dalton. Okay, now let's check out the important postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. Number one, postulates mean important points. The most important thing that he said about atoms is that all elements, you know what are elements? All elements are made up of small, indivisible, indestructible particles called atoms. What does it mean? All elements, every element on earth, it is made up of small, indivisible means you know that cannot be further divided, indestructible जिसको आप further destroy भी ना कर सकते means that cannot be destroyed either. Okay, that cannot be, that are not, they are indivisible as well as they are indestructible means they cannot be further destroyed. They are called particles. Those particles are called atoms. As you can see here, here you have the picture of an element. Just suppose this is an element. So an element, every element is made up of small indivisible particles that are called atom. As you can see here, the picture of another element, all these blocks are basically called as atoms. So these are the atoms that cannot be further divided. Means you cannot further divide it, you cannot further break it down. Okay, that means further cannot be divided further. Or indestructible means you cannot destroy them either. Okay, so what he said that, first of all, he said that all elements are made up of small indivisible indestructible particles called atoms, just like the cells. Now, what he said next, all atoms of a given element. As you can see here, all atoms of a given elements are identical. Identical means same in all respects, having same size means if you talk about all the atoms of any element. So what are, how they will look like? They have same size, they have same mass and chemical properties as well. But the atoms of one element differ. Okay, the atom of one element differ from the atoms of other element. Let's check it out here. Here you can see copper is an element made up of copper atoms only. Here you can see the copper element and these are the atoms of copper. Okay, so if you look very carefully, so all the atoms of copper, all the atoms of copper have same size, same mass, and they also have same chemical properties. Okay, chemical properties means how they will behave when they will undergo chemical processes. Okay, means how they will behave or how they will react with water, how they will react with oxygen. So their reactions with other chemicals will remain same. So if we talk about an element, so it means inside the element, all the atoms are same in size, mass, and chemical properties. Here you can see the picture of another element, that is carbon. As you can see here, all the carbon atoms are smaller in size as compared to the carbon atom, and they are all same in size, they have same mass, they have same chemical properties. And here you can see the picture of helium, that is also an element made up of helium atoms only. And again, they have same size, mass, and structure. But the atoms of one element, if we talk about the atoms of copper, 1 minute, 1 minute, okay. Okay, if we talk about the atoms of copper, so the atoms of copper are different from the atoms of carbon. Similarly, the atoms of carbon are different from atoms of helium. Okay, so the atoms of one element differ from the atoms of other element. Okay, now move on to the next postulate. Third, what he said that compounds are formed when atoms of more than one element combine in a simple whole number ratio. When how will compounds form? As you can see here, water. Okay, water is in compound, and this is the methane is a gas. Okay, so if you can see here, they are compounds. So when compounds are formed, when atoms of more than one element, as you can see here, oxygen is one element and hydrogen is another type of element. So together different types of elements will join up together to form compounds. Okay, so how when atoms of more than one element combine in a simple whole number ratio, means they will simply combine. What is whole number ratio? Hydrogen, two molecules of hydrogen or one molecule of oxygen here. So this is the simple whole number ratio, that one molecule of oxygen and two molecules of hydrogen. So what he said, Dalton said that when compounds will form when atoms of more than one element combine together. Here you can see the picture of methane. So methane is comprises of one carbon atom and four hydrogen atoms. So you can see that carbon and hydrogen are different elements, but together they will join up together and then they will form a compound. So when compounds form, when atoms of different elements combine together. So concept of compounds was also given by Daltons. Okay. The last postulate of the Dalton's atomic theory is a chemical reaction is a rearrangement. As you know, what is chemical reaction? Hmm? What is a chemical reaction? He also explained the definition of chemical reaction. He said that a chemical reaction is a rearrangement of atoms. Okay, rearrangement of atoms means what is a chemical reaction in which atoms will rearrange themselves, but they themselves are not changed. This means that atoms are neither created nor destroyed in chemical reaction. The most important thing is that you cannot create the atoms as well as you cannot destroy the atoms as well. Just suppose, as you can see here, the picture of a chemical reaction. What you have here, methane is a gas. As you can see here, there is a one carbon atom and these are four hydrogen atoms. Okay, they are going to react with two molecules of oxygen, 1 2 1 2. So when they will undergo a reaction, they will just simply rearrange themselves and then they will form carbon dioxide. This is a carbon molecule that now join with this oxygen and it will form carbon dioxide, and the water molecules, two molecules of water. So basically, what is a chemical reaction? In chemical reaction, atoms just only rearrange themselves. It doesn't mean they will create or they will destroy it. Okay, they will not change either. Okay, here you can see before the reaction what you have, methane and oxygen, and after the reaction you have carbon dioxide and water. But that doesn't mean that the atoms will destroyed and atoms created during the reaction. No, the atoms that are participating in the reaction, they will just rearrange themselves to form new compounds. So the definition of chemical reaction, compounds, atoms were basically given by Daltons. Okay, and the theory that he was presented was known as Dalton's atomic theory. Now move on to the next one. Modern atomic theory. Okay, now modern atomic theory, basically if we talk about the Dalton's atomic theory, so Dalton's atomic theory basically assume that atoms of elements, okay, atoms of any element are indivisible and that no particles smaller than atoms existed. Okay, what he think, he thought that the elements are indivisible, atoms of the elements are indivisible and no smaller particle than atoms existed. But as the time passed, new experimental facts led to the modification and extension of Dalton's atomic theory. And now, according to modern atomic theory, that is a modification of Dalton's atomic theory, what he suggested that atom is a complex organization. Okay, atom is a complex organization, means atom itself is the smallest particle, but it is consist of some more smaller particles. Okay, atom is basically composed of even smaller particles called subatomic particles. Okay, the modern atomic theory suggested that atom, although it is even small, is the smallest particle, but some more smaller particles than atom is also present inside the atoms, and they are called subatomic particles. Okay, now after that, the modern atomic theory also says that all atoms of the given elements have same atomic number. Now that is very important. If you remember in postulate number 3 or in postulate number 2, what Dalton said that all atoms are similar of one element. If you remember the concept, what he said, that if you talk about the carbon atoms or carbon element, so inside the carbon element, the atoms that are present, they are similar in all respect. But what modern atomic theory says, it says that although the given elements, atoms of all the given elements have same atomic number, but they have different mass number. If you remember what our atomic number is the number of electrons that is present outside the nucleus. And what is mass number? The number of neutron and proton present inside the nucleus. According to Dalton's atomic theory, atomic number and mass number of the elements of one element is similar, but the new atomic theory is suggested after the discovery of subatomic particles is that basically, if we talk about the atoms of one element, just suppose if I am going to talk about the atoms of carbon element. So the atoms of carbon may have same atomic number, but they have different mass number. It means, it indicates that the atoms are different in their mass numbers. Okay, so basically the modern atomic theory is the modification of Dalton's atomic theory. Last, they suggested that the ratio of atoms of different elements in many organic compounds is not simple. As you can see, or if you remember, the Dalton atomic theory says that compounds arranged in a simple whole number ratio, means two molecules of carbon and one molecule of oxygen, or two molecules of hydrogen and one molecule of oxygen, simple whole number ratio. But the new modern atomic theory suggested that basically this ratio is not same, it's not easy, it's not simple. They have a complex organization, there is a complex ratio. Okay, not a simple whole number ratio. So if you can see, or if you can find out the difference between Dalton's atomic theory and modern atomic theory. So in Dalton atomic theory, Dalton said that atoms are the smallest indivisible particle, but the modern atomic theory suggests that atom is composed of even smaller particles. They are called subatomic particles. Okay, then he said that the atoms of one element is same in size, mass, and all chemical reactions, all chemical properties. But the modern atomic theory indicates that they may have same atomic number, but their mass number are different. Okay, then Dalton said that compounds are formed and combined in a simple whole number ratio. But the modern atomic theory suggested that the ratio of atoms of different elements in many organic compounds is not simple. Okay, so this is a modification. Modern atomic theory is the modification of Dalton's atomic theory. Okay, even then, we can say that Dalton's atomic theory was largely successful in explaining the laws of chemical combinations as well. Now, let's move on to the subatomic particles. So, next is fundamental particles of an atom. Okay, fundamental particles of an atom. The atoms was generally identified as the smallest particle of an element. Okay, although we can still say that the atom is the smallest particle of an element, but it is consist of subatomic particles. As you can see, or if you remember about the cell, you remember that cell is the basic unit of life, but inside the cell you have many organelles, just like nucleus, cytoplasm, chloroplast. So cell is composed of different organelles, but cell is the basic unit of life. Similarly, if we talk about atom, so atom is the smallest particle of an element, but it is consist of subatomic particles as well. And now what are those subatomic particles? Number one, electrons, number two, protons, and number three, neutrons. Okay, number one, electrons, then protons, and then neutrons. Okay, as you can see here, the picture of carbon atom, and you can see here what you have. These are the green particles that are revolving around the nucleus. They are electron. Then here you have blue color particles, the subatomic particles, they are proton, and some red color particles, they are neutron. So basically this electron, proton, and neutrons are subatomic particles, and this whole structure is called as the atom. One atom, okay, and it is the smallest particle of an element. Okay, now let's quickly go through some fundamental properties of electrons. But what you have to do, you just have to memorize these things. Okay, here you can see what, here you can see the picture of an atom around which you can see some smaller green particles are continuously revolving around the nucleus. As you can see here, this is the nucleus. So these are the particles that are continuously revolving. So these particles are called as, so these particles are basically called as electrons. So these electrons are continuously revolving around the nucleus in an orbit. Okay. Now, so what are electrons? Number one, this electrons was discovered by J.J. Thomson in 1897. Okay. Electron was discovered by J.J. Thomson. Then it is negatively, now this is the very important point, it is negatively charged particle. Okay, number one, it is negatively charged particle. As you can see here, the electron that are revolving continuously around the nucleus, they carries the negative charge. And what the charge they have 1.602 multiple into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. Okay, this is coulombs. Okay, C stands for coulombs. This is the unit of charge. Okay, here you can see the minus sign. Okay, this minus sign indicate that these are the negatively charged particle. But what is the charge of electron? The charge of electron is this. Okay, 1.602 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulombs. Okay, you just have to memorize this thing. What is the charge? Charge of electron. The charge of electron is negative, and 1.602 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb is the charge of the electron. And if we talk about the actual mass of an electron, so the mass of an electron is 9.109 into 10 raised to power minus 31 kilogram. Means you can see that how much lighter particle is it. Minus 31 means you will here you will add 31 zero on the left side. So 0.00000009109 will be the charge electron mass of the electron. Okay, now move on to the next subatomic particle, that is proton. And here you can see the proton that is lie inside the nucleus. So what are protons? Protons was first discovered by German physicist Goldstein in 1886, and basically it is positively charged particle. Electrons were negatively charged particles, and the proton that is lie inside the nucleus, they are positively charged particles. And what is the charge of the proton? This. Okay, this is the charge of the proton. Okay, this is the charge of proton, that is 1.062 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. This is the charge of the proton, and this positive sign basically indicate that this is the positively charged particle. If we talk about the mass of the proton, so the actual mass of proton is 1.672 into 10 raised to power minus 27 kilogram. Okay, minus 27 means you will shift this point up to 27 places, means it what it will become 0.000000000, then 1672. So that is the actual mass of proton. Okay, now the last one is the neutron. What is a neutron? Here you can see the neutrons. Here you can see what, this is the atom. Okay, If you can see, these are the electrons that are revolving around the nucleus in its orbit, and they carry negatively charged particle. Then if we talk about the nucleus, this is the nucleus that is lie in the center of the atom. They contain two subatomic particles. Number one is proton that carries positive charge, and here you can see these are neutrons, and you can see here there is no charge. So what does it mean? Let's check it out here. First of all, it was discovered by James Chadwick in 1932. Okay, neutrons was discovered by James Chadwick. Then it is neutral particle. Neutral particle means there is no charge on neutrons. That's why they have the name neutron. They have no charge. Okay. Then the actual mass of a neutron is 1.76 into 10 raised to power minus 27 kilogram. This is the mass of a neutron. Okay. So basically, students, what you have to do, you just have to memorize that who discovered electron, proton, and neutron, as well as you have to memorize the mass and charge of electron, protons, and neutron. There is no charge on neutron, so there is no charge value of neutron as well. Okay. Okay, now students, that's the end of the lecture. But one thing I did, one thing that I want to tell you here is that the topics that I am going to teach you here, okay, you have to only prepare those topics for the class test, for the monthly test, and for your exams as well. Means the topic that I am not including in your lectures, that means those topics will also not include in your test as well. Okay, so when you are going to memorize or preparing for your test, so please only prepare those topics that I have taught you. Okay, that I have taught you. Those topics that I didn't explain to all of you, please do not prepare those topics. Okay, now now move on to the question answer session. And you know what I told you, that your participation is must, and I'm going to call the name of the students, and that student should reply the answer. Okay, but if your answers are wrong, that doesn't mean it's okay. If you are giving the wrong answer, your participation is necessary, as well as other students will also participate. Okay, it doesn't mean that only the particular student will answer the question. All of you can answer. Now my first question is for Fawzia Fawad. Okay, Fawzia Fawad, be ready. I'm going to ask a question. All elements are made up of small, indivisible, indestructible particles called dash. Others can also reply. Okay, other student can also reply. Okay, Anita, your answer is right. But what about Fawzia? Fatma Shahid, your answer is right. Zimal. Okay, Fawzia, that's good. That's quite good. What about others? Where are other students? Shiza Adams. Okay, Ali Rao. Okay, that's good. Okay, I'm watching those who are not replying. Okay, please be attentive. No, Rumesa. Rumesa, have you taught about molecules today in any lecture? No, Rumesa. All elements are made up of small, indivisible, indestructible particles called atoms. This is the postulate of Dalton's atomic theory. Okay, now the next one is for Sheikh Muhammad Bilat. Sheikh Muhammad Bilat. Dash is a neutral particle. Sheikh Muhammad Bilat. Okay, Anita, you are right. Fawzia, wrong. Fawzia, your answer is wrong. Okay, Sania, you are right. Shiza, you are wrong. Shiza, neutral particles. What are neutral particles, bete? Okay, Ali Rao, you are right. Where is Bilat? Okay, Manahil Nadeem. Okay, okay, Manahil. Okay, where is Bilal? And where are other students? Why not others are replying? Why not others are replying? Where is Zimal, Talha? Where are you, beta? Zuhaib, Samir. Okay, so the correct answer is dash is neutral particle. So neutron is neutral particle. Okay. Now number 3, this question is for Abdul Ahad. Sorry, Abdul Rahman. Abdul Rahman. Abdul Rahman, Abdul Ahad, please reply. Number 3, chapter number 3. Abdul Rahman, this is your chapter number 3, atomic structure. Okay, now please tell me the answer. Students, please tell me the answer of this one. A dash is a rearrangement of atoms, but atoms themselves are not changed. Okay, Anita, only Anita is replying. Where are other students? Where is Shiza, Roha, Hafsa, or Iman Asif? Beta, where are you? Fatma, Fatma Shahid, Zishan, why are you not replying? Zimel, only Anita is replying. Beta, I will not give you the grades. Okay, okay, Roha, your answer is right. Chemical reaction. Where are others, beta? Okay, Abdul Rahman. What about Abdul Ahad? Abdul Ahad, where are you? Okay, Ali Rao, your answer is right. Okay, okay. Now Bilad is replying. Okay, Bilad, it's okay. Now move. Okay, dash is a rearrangement chemical reaction. Now move on to the next question. The atoms of one element dash from the atoms of other element. The atoms of one element dash from the atoms of other element. And this is my question for Talha Javed. Talha Javed, you must reply while others can also. Okay, Abdullah Ansari, you are right. Okay, Manahil, you are right. Abdul Rahman, you are right. Anita, you are right. Shiza, you are right. Where is Zimel? Where is Eknat? 1 minute. Where is Talha? This is my question for Talha. Where is Samir Ahmad? Talha and Samir Ahmad, please reply. Where is Zuhaib? Hmm? Students, why you are not replying? Okay, so the answer is the atoms of one element differ from the atoms of other element. Now the next is dash is negatively charged particle. This is very simple. So Rumesa, please reply, bete. Iman Asif, Rumesa and Iman Asif. Rumesa and Iman Asif, please reply. Dash is negatively charged particle. Okay, Shiza, your answer is right. Fazia, Anita, Roha. 1 minute. Abdul Rahman, you are right. Fatma, Talha. Okay, finally Talha has replied. Fatma, Abdul Kareem, Shiza, Sheikh Muhammad Bilayat, all of you are right. Rumesa, Rumesa, please reply. Sania, no, Sania, your answer is not right. Fatma Abdul Kareem, you are right. Okay, where is Iman Asif? Where is Iman Asif? Okay, finally, Zimel, you are replying, but beta, the correct answer is what? Electron. Electron is negatively charged particle. Okay. Now the last one is dash are formed when atoms of more than one element combine in a simple whole number ratio. This is my question for Samir Ahmed and Zoha Zafar. Samir Ahmed and Zoha Zafar, please reply. Samir Ahmed and Zoha Zafar, please reply. Okay, Shiza, Abdul Ahad, right? Okay, Shiza Ali Rao, you are right. Okay, Roha, you are right. Sania, wrong. Sania, you are wrong. What about others? Where are other students? Bete dash are formed when atoms of more than one element. Where is Samir, Ahmad, and Zoha Zafar? Okay, Anita, you are right. Okay, so the answer is compounds are formed when atoms of more than one element combine in a simple whole number ratio. Beta, please take your question answer sessions very seriously. This is very important for all of you. Okay, now I'm going to end your lecture here. If you want to ask any questions, please ask. If you have any questions, until then, I'm going to also mark your attendance. So please do not go anywhere. If you have any question, please write it down in the chat box. Okay, if you have any question, please write it down in the chat box. No question, as usual. Okay, so okay, class, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with me. I'm always thankful to all of you. Thank you so much.